Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live discussion with Esoteric Nexus. I'm Whitney, and this is Braden.
Hello.
And today we are a hot mess.
Oh yeah.
We were going to talk about the autumn equinox coming up, but it's been a rough week. Definitely yesterday.
Super busy.
Yesterday
Super
was
busy.
what, that lunar eclipse and everything else stacked on top of it. I don't even know what to tell you yesterday was, but yesterday was rough.
Yesterday was a good day for Braden.
I thought you said you had a rough. I mean, you know what? Everybody else I've talked to had said yesterday was rough.
I've had like a lot of like physical emotions to feel. Like I'm physically feeling my emotions, and that's like weird because I don't know how to prompt that, and then just have it happen out of the blue, like with nothing to prompt said emotions. It's just all of a sudden there is its own thing. But you know, like I had a pretty chill day yesterday. It wasn't too chaotic.
Oh my goodness.
Not like today and Monday and Sunday and Saturday.
Over the last week.
Oh, by the way, guys, we are doing Work It Out Wednesday.
Oh, yes.
So we are going to talk about the things that ail our brains and how to...
Yes, we were
with
going to
that.
talk about the autumn equinox, but we are doing a Work It Out Wednesday because
It's that day.
it just needed to happen.
Mhm.
And like, yeah. We still planned on doing the autumn equinox, and then it was like, nope,
Not
not
happening.
today.
Not time in the
Also,
world for that.
I know I put it in the feed, but we are currently at Sacred Grounds Coffee Studio. So
Yes.
Sunday, I'll be doing the broom craft at this location, but like out there.
But it's got great scenery. If you've never been there, I suggest you come. Oh my gosh, are those paintings still on the wall? They have awesome paintings and really cool like dingly doos, light
Yes.
fixtures. Those two.
You know, if we were at a table out there, I was gonna like, look at this, but
We are in
there
the
are people
office.
here, and it's nice to have a little bit more quiet.
Yeah, yeah, and it's weird to like talk practically with people around as if they're not there, but they can totally hear the conversation. That might be a great way to invite people in, but it's out of my comfort zone.
You know, that's how I feel when people walk past us when we're at the park.
See, I think that's a little bit different because like there is everywhere in that park to go, and you're
Yeah.
choosing to walk close by, which means you may or may not be interested in what we have to say.
Right?
You know, that's how I like to see it. But in a place like this, man, voices
I don't know.
carry.
It's. You think they can hear us?
Probably a little bit.
I thought you meant at the park.
Oh yeah, no,
I didn't.
no.
I never thought about the fact that they could probably hear us out there.
Yeah, well, and it's fine, like, because we're in an enclosed space, so it's more
Which is
muffled,
really
but-
weird too. It's really weird that it is like so quiet.
Eerily quiet.
Yeah, there's no like kids playing in the background and voices, and
No background tunes. It's just like,
this is what it would feel like to record a live somewhere else
I heard about this.
by myself.
I heard about this thing where, when people are doing interviews in certain rooms, and then they need like silence in order to break up bits and pieces of the interview so that it's more clean cut in fashion. They have to use the silence from the same room that the interview was taken, because if you take the silence from a different room and use that as a cut-in, it subconsciously messes with you. It like creates distress and
The silence
discomfort.
from a different room?
Yes.
What do you mean by using the silence from a different room?
So sitting in this room with its quiet silence is going to feel different than out there quiet silence. Because if I had to guess, because I didn't really get into this part of it, but that was what they had to do. If I had to guess, it's because of the space of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the acoustics that play a part in every room and what's there and what's not, so the sound waves, no matter how soft they are still traveling a certain direction. So if you were to put silence from one room into another room, or into another room, so to speak, it would be a different kind of silence, and it would be so off harmony that you would recognize it would create distress and like irritation.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right? It's just like
My
something you don't
mind
think
went
about.
straight to feng shui though when you were talking about using the
Okay.
different rooms.
Okay.
Like that, and like each room has a different kind of energy.
And a different
because-
feel to it, so they each
Yeah.
have their own set of silence. It's kind of like,
But it makes more sense that the acoustics would play a part, especially when you're talking about silence.
right? Because like a dead silent room, like those like quiet pods, it's a whole different kind of
I've
silence.
never experienced
you know?
one, but
Me either, but I could imagine.
I wonder how long I could last one. I don't think, because I know I definitely like music, and I don't like silence so much.
If I'm allowed
But I
to
think
fall
it would
asleep,
I think it would be really therapeutic.
it would be an amazing nap. The world's best nap because you have literally no distractions.
No, I want to sleep in one of those hydropods.
Mm.
That would be really cool.
I don't know that I trust myself to sleep in a hydropod. I can't stay on my back. I'll end up.
I
On
love
my
baths.
side dream.
I've tested myself in bath with that worry, because
You know,
there's a
but-
deep-seated fear of like
But
drowning.
baths are different because they're like walled in. They don't really allow for the turning. You are very consciously aware when you are turning in a bathtub. I don't know that it would be the
Yeah,
same.
but I mean, in the
hydropod.
hydropods, like the ones I'm thinking of, the water's only deep enough to go like up to
Just
here.
over your ears,
so,
right? So like
like,
that's
unless
deep
you,
enough to stick your face in the water.
I suppose.
And you just never
No, I
know.
don't think so.
They've
I don't
thought
think
about
so.
this. They've had
They
to thought
yeah.
about this, you know? Maybe there's like a little crook for your head to stay in. so
And
it
then
doesn't
like I
move.
think they put like salt in the water,
Oh,
or
okay.
there are ones where you put salt in the water and you kind of float.
Like that's cool, like the Dead Sea. Can't swim in the Dead Sea because you float.
Yeah.
Wow, we got way off topic, guys.
We did, but that's okay. That's the whole reason it's a workout Wednesday instead of
Yes.
a certain theme. Like,
Yes.
but I do have some crap on my chest, dude. So I feel like this last week I've really had an issue fully decompressing. Like I feel it built up, and I want to say relax. I want to relax, or I guess I need to let something out. I don't know.
You're trying too hard. No, not trying too hard. Not in its literal sense, but trying at. It's like you're forcing them to relax. Maybe.
It's not the forcing to relax. It's the letting go enough to relax.
Okay, all right. Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, just let it go. You gotta let the muscles go. I'm like, I can't.
It's like
Okay,
when somebody says
I'm
that.
halfway there. All right, and then it's like to where I'm like, okay, all right, I think I could relax, and I'm still like tense, and then something happens. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I tense back up, and it's like, come on, and then I barely relax enough.
What if you did like when my daughter has a hard time sleeping, I follow the curvatures of her face and just go where all her sinuses are and bring them down and around, and it like put her to sleep. It's a very calming, relaxing thing, and I think it'd be a great way to like allow yourself to burn off the stemming that you're feeling.
I need a massage.
Yeah, well, you know,
I could go for like a real good deep tissue massage. You know, I have this gift card
some trigger therapy.
for
Oh my gosh.
a thing I got. It's
Trigger
almost
point
been 2
therapy,
years
sorry.
ago. Almost 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago, I got this thing.
Does it have an expiration date?
No, because
Then
it's a
go
gift
use
card.
it.
I know, right? I just need to schedule it.
So
Gosh,
go
I have
schedule
so many
it.
things to schedule.
Well,
That's the thing, dude.
Wait,
It's
hold on,
so
hold on.
chaotic.
But you have, how old are you right now? You don't have to answer that, but think about that. And then think about the earliest time you could, like, realistically die. You've got from this point right now to all the way then to, like, schedule that. So you could schedule it out 3 months in advance. It sucks that you don't get it right away, but it's scheduled.
I know, but
right?
it's just another thing I have to do.
No, it's another thing you get to do. This is
I
self-care.
do get to do. I
It's
do get to do.
because you're taking a moment to, like, self-care, right? Like, you're taking a moment to
know,
double choose you.
I've done okay. You know, the other day I was gonna take a good shower and I was gonna do some self care. It's okay, man.
I love it.
Tuesday. Okay, I babysit full time. So I was babysitting, and it was early morning, and I took my kid to school, and it was a good morning. And then afterwards, I decided that baby was fussy enough to put down for a nap. Normally, baby takes a morning nap and then an afternoon nap. Well, baby's reaching that age where it doesn't really want to take that first morning nap. Well, I wanted him to take that first morning nap, and he was fussy, so I decided it was time. First mistake was the fight on, dude. And baby, ooh, I don't even know, man. This baby doesn't go, goes straight to a high-pitched scream. So I'll just be like walking around, and then decides he's hungry, and just, that's like initial reaction. It's a button. It's such a button, man, and I gotta work on making this button less easy to push. But it happened, and I had taken the time. I know this is a thing baby does. Took him upstairs and laid him down, and I'm patting his back, and he's laying down, and he was quiet, and I walked downstairs, and he's quiet for like 10-15 minutes, and then he just decided he didn't want a nap. So he just sits up and he starts screaming. And we fought for like an hour and a half, and then I finally got him to sleep, and I decided to take a sleep, and I fall asleep for like 15-20 minutes, and somewhere around all that stuff, I've got my phone connected to the speaker, playing music to like keep things out. My phone's on vibrate so it doesn't go off. And that's when everybody decides to call. So I get like 4 phone calls around the time that I'm trying to fall asleep, and I finally fall asleep for 20 minutes, and then the school calls, and I don't know why, but that one turned off the music, and it wakes the baby up, just high-pitched screaming, blood curdling, like somebody stabbed him and he's dying, screaming. And my niece has a fever, so I gotta go pick her up. So I don't get my nap, and then all the chaos ensues, and I'm making lunch, and it was just rough. And then the kids come home, and there's so much going on. And then that evening, as I decided to take some time to do self-care, I was going to take my shower, and I was going to, candles, music, just, oils. I was going to do it all. And I get a phone call, and I just had this feeling. I had this feeling that I needed to answer this phone call. So I did. And I go visit, and I find out that somebody in my family is really sick. Really sick. And it was just the cherry on top. It was just the cherry on top. Like mortality, humanity, precious time, all comes forward amidst all the chaos. Like, of all the times of this kind of information to come forward, it was
whoops. Just keep talking. I'm trying to fix the what you call it. I don't even have that option. Sorry.
You're good.
Did I lose this entirely?
I think it's...
Oh, there we are. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. You may or may not be experiencing technical issues on your end. It's asking me to fix our video live, and I don't really know how to do that, so we're just going to muscle through this and hope that it comes out okay after it's all said and done with. Anyways.
I don't know. In a way, that kind of news at the end of the day really brings forward, like, how much worse it could have been through the day, you know? All those experiences weren't as bad as losing somebody, possibly.
A big dose to, like, put things in perspective for your day. Not intentionally, not like that's what...
Yeah,
was
but
for,
I mean,
in the
on
same
top of
way.
that, I had to break this news to other family, and I wasn't prepared to do that. Yeah, goodness.
That's a heavy step, I guess.
It just added on top of the list of things that I had to do, you know, scheduling appointments, and I had a meeting this morning with the school, and Oh, chaos, dude. Life is chaotic. Life is chaotic. Which just goes to show, Whitney, you don't need to control everything. Stop trying to control everything and enjoy the ride. It's chaotic, and it's, if you shift the perspective, then, like, how blessed am I to have kids to worry about that are still alive, that I still get to take care of.
Well, you know, and if you're not there, it's just as simple as, like, I'm experiencing a moment in time. Like, whatever this moment brings, whether I like it or I dislike it, whether it helps me or it doesn't help me, like, I am literally just experiencing this moment, and moments always pass. Some moments are longer than others, and some don't pass very easily. You know, there's grief, there's heartache, there's anger, there's resentment, there's all these things that are created in moments that take some time to process, break down, but those moments aren't there forever. And just remind yourself, like, even some of the little things that used to get to you that don't get to you anymore, like, that is proof in the pudding that those moments don't last forever. They only last as long as we hold on to them for. And not to, like, shame yourself into holding on to moments, but it's a way to remember, like, you know, this is a way for you to have that control you're looking for. You get to choose not just how to react, but for how long you want to react to that moment for, and how you could possibly react in the future that may bring out a different outcome. But, you know, that doesn't always make your day easier, but it may take the edge off. You know, I can feel the tight wounded upness of, like, the need to decompress and not being able to get that fix, if you will.
Release.
Or that release, that's a better term for it, most definitely. But, you know, I guess, yeah, I don't know. The perspective shift, the is always helpful. It's a good starting point, but, you know, that doesn't work for everything, or if it does work for everything, it's only like a starting step. It's like to get the ball rolling from there. You got to find other things to be able to keep pulling that perspective, if you will. And knowing that everything really does have its purpose, and no purpose is too small or too grand. There are things that are small to us that are big to other people, and there are things that are big to us that are small to other people based on our experiences. So there's really no grand way to, like, put what's difficult and what's not. It's just noticing and recognizing what's more of a struggle for you and your existence, and not comparing it. Well, and not comparing it.
To
like,
black and a piece to the spider.
Like, you don't have
however
to.
the fuck that
Like the
phrase goes. Oh my gosh, how's that go?
I don't think I've heard
chaos
anything.
to the fly, or what's chaos to the spider is.
No, what's no, I know what you're talking about. I've heard that one. I can never remember it though, so I'm not gonna try.
Yeah,
But
you know what? I'm googling it. It's
do
gonna
it.
drive me nuts.
So, nobody's experience is harder or
What's
easier
chaos
than
to
anybody
the
else's.
fly is normal to the spider.
Is normal to the spider.
You know what that makes me think of?
What's that?
I will forever remember this. Once upon a time, we had a different Rick living with us in our house, and he'd never lived with us before. And within the first week that he stayed with us, we were living our lives, doing our normal day-to-day stuff. And after a week of joining us on whatever we do, wherever we go, he asked, like, you know, is it okay if I just stay home this time? You know, I didn't realize how chaotic your life is. I really thought that you were just finding things to entertain me. But I realize now this is just how your life is, and I can't keep going. Yeah, no, this is just life. We didn't plan anything for you. Like, we don't have the time to plan it.
Yeah, I know. I feel that.
It's like, wow, yeah, I guess, you know, I think my life is chaotic, because it is chaotic, but
I think mine comes in spurts.
I would be proud to say I can successfully navigate chaos a lot better than I used to.
I love chaos. I absolutely love it. Like, it's got its own level of stress, and I get that.
You
But
know,
like,
it really stresses
But it's-
people out who really like to plan.
but it's beautiful to see the connections that happen living in that. You know,
it,
like
it opens up a lot more door. It does, you know.
and you don't
looking-
gotta dive balls deep into
Yeah.
it. You know, like you can just dip your toe in the water here and there. But like, I think like chaos in a sense is like you get to see miracles on an everyday. Things come together in a way you least expect it, in ways that really pull for
It's
you.
the
if
letting
that's
go
where
of
your mind
control
is.
and just allowing the flow of things to happen and
well, and just like remembering, like
open.
control is an illusion.
It's
It's a man-made construct. There is no rules. There is no control in nature. There's just laws.
You know,
laws
I
that
really
live by.
think that that's why I am so stressed out and I need to decompress. Is because I've been trying so hard to make sense of the chaos in my life, and I don't have to understand the chaos.
No,
I
you just get to appreciate its little connections. You know, that's really what it is. And it's not an easy thing by any means. You know, like even living too far in the chaos is a bad thing. I'm not saying completely get rid of control because, ugh, but
Well, all of this stuff is out of my control.
but recognizing
a lot of it.
yeah, and,
not all of it.
and recognizing like the only control you will ever have in your life is the choice you make, right? Like that is the only thing you have direct, like yes, because it's your yes or it's your no. It's nobody else's unless you give them that power, which is also your own choice in and of itself. So like if you can remember that that is the only form of control that you have, then all other forms of control that you feel you need don't need to be there because those don't exist, right? Yeah, like wanting my kids to be a certain way and not be so wild and hang all over me and use me as a jungle gym. You know, that's my struggle. And so now it's just, well, when they're hanging on me and they're being a jungle gym, I gotta like realize like I can only choose how to react to them being a jungle gym on me, and maybe taking the time to come at it from their perspective so that I can have my own growth, so that I can get rid of this need to have control and this need to this way to get rid of the irritation. That's the only way I've found to ever get rid of any kind of irritation you have with anybody, is learn how to understand it from their point. Because at least at that point, when you're irritated with them, you're irritated at the level that they're at instead of at the person themselves.
You know, I have this perspective. I don't know if you've thought of it this way before, but as a mother with shared custody of all but one of my kids, really, I know my time is limited with them, so I try to make the most of of all the time that I have with them. And the thing that I keep in mind when I'm trying to spend connecting time with them is it's not, I look at it as I'm creating future memories that they will look back on. So how I react and how I deal with what they're doing, if I think of it as them thinking of this time,
How do I want them to remember me?
yeah. So
That's a good one.
try, because I struggle with the short fuse, I guess. I'm working on patience. I don't have a short fuse, but I would like to elongate the fuse I already have, you know.
I
Yeah.
feel that.
So
I feel that. That's definitely where I've been working.
it's also kind of like the whole, like, looking at it as how would you treat your best friend when you're
Well,
treating yourself.
And then,
So
and it's like not,
it's like coming out of your body and looking at it from a different angle.
and then like not guilt tripping yourself over how you're raising your kids. It's one thing to recognize where you can do better and then do as such, but like when you want to do something for you over your own kids, if it's going to benefit your mental health and in the long run keep you from snapping at your kids, then I suggest taking up on that and not feeling bad for it, regardless of how limited the amount of time you have with your kids. Like for me, a big one is I end up getting a lot of Saturday work. So that means my kids miss out on half of the 2 days that I get to see them, right? But I also know that if I get that Saturday work, I have the means to be able to take them to have an enjoyable time, whether that's just a quick bite to eat in the park or the park and ice cream or what have you. Like, I have the options to do the things. Whereas if I don't have that Saturday work, and it's different if I have money, but if I don't have any money and I don't have that Saturday work, like, there's just, like, I'm not in the greatest of moods. Like, I don't love money, but when I don't have money in my pocket, that means I don't have options. And when I don't have options, I get frustrated and I have a short fuse. So I'm learning how to always have money stashed somewhere, some kind of, even if it's just $100 emergency fund type thing, so that way I don't ever feel broke. But, I still have to weigh out that time and then find out where I can make it up. And it all works itself out. But if I guilt trip myself over it, am I going to enjoy my time with my kids anymore?
Right.
No. And then when you guilt trip yourself into it, like, do you feel like you really enjoy that time, or is it like I'm taking care of my own guilt? Like, and then it kind of, for me, it feels like it's a little bit selfish. Like
I so understand that.
Like you're trying to do something for your kids because you want your kids to have good memories of you, but you're also doing it because you feel guilty that you haven't stepped up as much as you'd like for the week. And it's like it's okay to have your off weeks, but if you're choosing to hang out with your kids out of guilt that you have, then it's coming from a selfish place, and it's hard to really engage with the kids in the same manner.
I struggle with that all the time. Sunday is when the kids get picked up and it's dad's time to have them. So Sundays is always when that comes up for us. Like Sunday, if we end up having too much to do and we feel like throughout the week we haven't spent enough time with the kids, so Sunday we need to do something with them before they go back. Otherwise they're going to go back and be like, yeah, I didn't
do anything.
I didn't do anything because they were doing all this stuff.
Yep.
So that's playing in my head, and then I'm like, oh, yeah. I got to get all this stuff done so that I have like maybe 30 minutes to an hour to spend with them before they get back, and then I'm hanging out with them. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, do something with me. We got to spend time together.
Yeah, you're like rush squeezing the time to have with them.
And then I'm like, gosh, I have to spend time with you because I want to spend time with you, but I'm not enjoying spending time with you.
You got too busy making myself.
No, I don't want to spend time with you, and now I know I'm not spending time with you, and I feel guilty because I didn't want to spend time with you around you. Around,
and then
guilt loop.
That whole week that they're gone. And you're just like, man, I could have done this different. Damn, I'm going to do this different. Oh, man, I dropped the ball there. Gosh, I really didn't spend as much time as I like.
Parental guilt,
I missed that. Yeah, got to keep on top of it. It's okay to have it, but you got to keep that stuff in check. Because, honestly, at the end of the day, I've come across a lot of people that have put their own life in detriment because of their kids. And it's one thing to love your kids, but when you're using your kids as an excuse for everything, or you're using them as a crutch for everything, and like I've seen people put themselves in financial ruin. I was like, bro, like you have every opportunity to do the things and provide for your family. And I get it, family work-life balance. That's be a yacht if I ever saw one to try and maintain. You're either a workaholic or you just really always want to be
2024.
With your kids, Especially with how much you have to work to survive. That's the other thing, guys. Like, if you find you're working a lot more to make ends meet, that's not your fault. That's just the economy we live in right now. And there are ways that we can work around that, and there are ways we can find our little niches and our side hobbies and our side hustles. Like, I think everybody should try to find some kind of side hustle. Not because you have to, but, like, why not do something you enjoy that can make you a little money on the side and let it become whatever it becomes. But if you give yourself more options to have more ways to make the monies, it doesn't have to be efficient, it doesn't have to be a project, but you start finding the ways, you start to gain a sense of freedom, and you start to find a way to like appreciate and understand the time. Like now, the time that you're spending away from your kids is done being not just productive on you, but for you. Not just financially, but with your health, and you're building a new skill. So it's like a trifold, boom, 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 helps you help yourself. So like that's another thing I suggest to people. If you got time on your hands, find a hobby. And if you don't have time on your hands, find a hobby. Just like addictions, you will find your way to have what you enjoy if you enjoy it enough. So if you force yourself into a position to be able to take the time to do the things, it will pay off. Better quality of health. And you can't tell me you don't have time. Everybody has time.
You can make time.
You can find it. You know, like if you throw an app on your phone that tells you how much you're using your phone, or if your phone just tells you how much you use it every week, and you listen and you look at it, man, like I'm not gonna lie, I am on my phone at least 21 hours a week. You know, anywhere between 21 and 36, depending on what's going on in my life and how much I got to shut down from the reality of life. But that's a whole ass day of being able to do a hobby, and that's within a week. You know, so like one day out of my week is spent being on my phone. And that one day a week could easily be spent doing something else, half a day a week. That's the beauty of it. Is that this is done in 15, 20, 30-minute increments throughout my day, and I break that. Just think if you took some of those 20, 30 increments and just start building on a hobby. Another tangent, but yeah. And then you just can't guilt trip yourself on those hobbies either. If you don't pick them up for a month on end and you think you're never going to get back to it, well, if you put that thought in your head, you're probably going to push yourself away from it. But I've done wire wrapping on and off for the last 2 years, and I went like a solid 6 months without wire wrapping anything before I jumped back on it. And it took me to just be like, I just really feel like I need to create something. And it came back. So these things will come back, and you don't really lose the skill. You might get a little rusty. You might need a little, practice time to get back into your groove. But the skill lasts. It doesn't go anywhere. And it'll stay longer if you use it.
Find things that bring you joy.
Mm-hmm.
The littlest bit of joy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, it could be like being a Google searching savant. You just find the information anywhere. It could be audiobooks. I really would like to get into audiobooks and read audiobooks to people. I think that would be dope. I love doing different voices. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Book club. Speaking of, I'm about to get that book. I'm going to get that book. What is it? Within the Garden or The Garden Within?
The Garden Within. I'm going to pick that up tonight, Chance, if you're watching. If you're not, well. And
yes. I'm going to do the app.
And we've given
it's an audio app.
Oh, yeah? Then I'm going to get it on Audible. We had this conversation.
Yes.
And then, Chance, it's been a week, man, so maybe we could nail down a hard start date. And
for book club.
Mm-hmm. And
Chance and Sam, if you're doing it too. I know you're busy with Girl Scouts.
Yeah. And if you end up joining late, that's okay too. It shouldn't be too hard to catch up. I don't think we're going to be aggressively reading unless we feel the need to aggressively read. But the chapters that we talk about, like, we can set chapters. We'll talk about chapter 1 and 2 in the next couple of weeks or what have you. I don't know. But yeah, Chance, we got to spitball more with that. So I'll be reaching out to you, if not tonight, tomorrow, about that.
I'm trying to be really self-aware of all the things that I'm tacking onto myself. Because, I've got this group, I've got the babysitting, I've got the meditation class coming back up. I don't know when that's going to start or if it's going to start back up, but it usually happens on Tuesdays.
So your Tuesdays and Wednesdays will be like, pow. And you're babysitting on Tuesdays? Pow, pow, pow.
I am babysitting on Tuesdays. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to take on everything.
I know I don't, but then I wanted to do the broom craft. I'm super excited about it. And speaking of the broom craft, let me show you guys what I got shopping. Oh my gosh. We're putting together brooms. I mean, look at this. Look at it. Little crystals. And I got some ivy to throw in. Little mushrooms. And moss to put all of them on. And I got white crystals. Guys, just look. It's gonna be so much fun. These little skulls. Look at that. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, there's just so much stuff. I found most of this at Michael's. I didn't find anything I wanted at Hobby Lobby. Michael's had a sale, so I just kind of one corner of Michael's where the sale was. Everything was 50% off. In the cart. It has bats! Freaking bats, guys! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pumpkins. Little feathers. Oh. Oh.
Damn, oh my goodness gracious.
I know, I went crazy.
Yeah,
It's just supposed to be a simple thing that you can put together,
but you got a lot of options to choose
but
from.
I saw stuff. I
Yep.
saw stuff. More pumpkins, guys.
And what
Orange
day-
flowers. Oh no.
And what day is this again?
Sunday. This Sunday, the 22nd.
Decent day. Oh man, this is no longer a butterfly. It's half a butterfly. It's missing a wing.
Little orange things, little green things, little white things.
I just want to
Cutest freaking bro.
glue this to my wall. So it just
Ooh,
sit there
uh-oh.
with half a wing.
You know, it was 50% off.
Because they
We'll
tore the
find some other-
wings.
We'll find some other wings for that guy. He just went back to being a caterpillar.
He missed it too much. Oh man, they like straight pulled him out. That's wild. Some kid got really curious, I bet.
Either that or it had to do with part of putting it in a bag
Oh,
and like.
you know, they don't stay
me
very
pulling
well.
them?
I accidentally just pulled them off. I could see that.
Oh gosh.
That didn't take much. Oh, it went back in. It's good. We're good.
So excited.
Oh my gosh.
So excited. I got like stuff for putting the brooms together.
Well, I
We'll
will.
be doing it here Sunday at noon. Sacred Grounds Coffee Studio.
I will not be here with you physically, but I'll be here with you guys on
That's
Saturday.
okay. I think I'm gonna go live when we do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think I'll just go live when we do it so y'all can see.
Go live. You
see
guys
if
gotta
other
show up and
people
come check
join.
it out.
Yeah, come
though.
see what we're up to.
Yeah, come have some fun. Get out of your
Meet
house.
people with us. Maybe we will end up discussing things. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just stick to the craft.
I don't know. I think things always end up getting discussed while crafting. Your brain gets to work in mysterious ways.
And I got the
Brings out new
tripod.
insight.
Oh my gosh, my tripod came in the mail. I ordered it on Amazon. It's so cool.
My whatchamacallit should be here today. I got a power cord for my PlayStation 2.
Oh gosh, looks like I went to a strip club.
Glitter galore. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Whitney.
Germany had the best strip club. If you want to know, I'll tell you.
If you wants to know, come find out.
What a day, man. Today's been really. I mean, today could have been kind of a little bit of some decompression, really. I went shopping,
Yeah, shopping is
got coffee.
therapy.
I didn't have places I needed to go right away. That's what kills me, is when I have to be somewhere. And then I've got like this time limit in my head. I gotta go.
But
You know,
you don't.
there's that thing that I gotta do in like 3 hours.
You don't have to.
No, but I have decided it's something I'm going to do. And I pride myself in being about what I say I'm going to do. And if not, then I need to be like 100% honest. Be like, dude, I know I said I was going to. This is where I'm at. I'm allowed to change my mind. Things happen. But I hate doing that.
I don't think you should hate
I
it.
guilt myself.
I think it's only an issue if you take advantage of it, right? Like, but if you're calling in because you're calling in, like you got to tap out, then you got to tap out. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, it's no different than doing 16-hour shifts back to back to back. One of those shifts, you may just
You
have
know,
to
I'm
call
pretty
into
sure
work
you're
for
the
it.
one
I
that
don't
told
know.
me that you felt like you were taking advantage of the whole giving yourself grace.
Yep. For a long time there. And
I can't fathom that.
what? Taking advantage of, well, here's a really good way. Like my rock stuff, my wire wrapping.
Mhm.
Like when I was trying to do more like small businessy part of that whole thing, which failed miserably, by the way. I was not prepared or ready for that step in my life. I probably got a few more months before I can get that direction if I'm gonna take it serious. But it was always okay for me to be like, well, I can just do it tomorrow. Oh, well, it only takes 20 minutes. I can get another 3 done. It's no problem. And then before you know it, 3 weeks have gone by and you're on the day of and you're rushing to get things done.
That's
It's
procrastinating. That's not giving
No,
yourself
but
grace.
It's giving yourself grace because as you say these things, on the back of your mind, you're feeling bad and you're like, oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I've got time. Oh, look at this. I really am not doing anything. I'm just fucking around. Sorry. Just on my phone doing
You've
the
already
things.
decided that it's okay. I say it enough.
so like, if I can recognize after telling myself it's okay not to do it,
Okay.
and then I see all these
then
things
I
that I'm
think
not
there needs to
doing.
be a shift in perspective because either we have different definitions of giving ourselves grace.
I think there's layers. I think
No,
there's
that
layers.
complicates it too
Like,
much.
Of course
I think
it
you were
complicates
procrastinating.
it. No, well, yeah, but
So,
procrastinating.
I
but-
mean, at the same time, you can give yourself grace and be like, okay, you know what? It's okay that you fucked up and you procrastinated, but we're going to recognize that we procrastinated, friend, and then some tough love it, but don't beat yourself up because you did it. Not
No, yeah, and I get that.
blanketing it
But-
and saying it's okay, we'll do it a different day.
But procrastinating in and of itself is taking advantage of grace. Because you're being nice enough to yourself to put it off. Because if you weren't being nice enough to yourself, you would do something about it.
Well, it is okay if you put it off, but when you create a habit,
It is, that's what I'm saying. So like
then
if
you are choosing to procrastinate.
and if you're choosing to procrastinate, then you're taking advantage of giving yourself grace. That's all procrastination is. You've gotten into the habit of saying, it's okay, next time it'll be fine. It's okay, tomorrow's another day.
It's not grace.
It's fine.
I don't think that's grace. That doesn't fit my definition.
But yeah, okay, so giving yourself grace is not being hard on yourself when you decide to take the break. But if you give yourself repeated grace without having any forward momentum, it turns into procrastination. And procrastination isn't grace, but it's a
Accountability.
byproduct of too much of it. Accountability is how you don't take advantage of the grace you give yourself. You hold yourself accountable. You don't say, oh, I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to go do the thing. Because I told myself last time I procrastinated that I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do this. So then if you go do the things and then you decide you're going to procrastinate another time, then it's not procrastination. You're giving yourself grace. You're like, all right, I did it this time. Last time I procrastinated. The next time I told myself I wouldn't, so I didn't. I held myself accountable. But you know what? I'm just not feeling
Why don't
this.
you guys weigh in? Huh? I swear, you're doing something and you're going around it and it's not the same.
No,
It's not.
it's one begets the other. Like everything is like it's the same.
I think you're giving a definition
It's
to
the
like
same-
the in between.
Listen, it's the same. It's the same thing as control. Control is sneaky. Control has many different layers. When, for example, when you wanted your nephew to take the nap on your time instead of his time, that was a moment of needing control. But you don't say, I'm gonna have control in this moment. You're like, kid, I just need you to nap. You don't once for a moment
I don't
think
see
that's
those
the word.
different.
But what do you mean?
Those two scenarios that you just described, I don't see them as different.
How?
I mean, in one way, you could kind of say that I was trying to do it for me, in control, not trying to force the child to do what I want him to. But those are both control.
But no.
They're the same. I don't know how you're finding a way to separate.
But you see,
them.
no. So, when you wanted your nephew to take a nap, and it's like, and instead of just letting him wear himself out, do it on his time, let him take his nap, which you said you should have done anyway because it would have been the same amount of time, right?
Right.
So you would have been just going with flow. You wouldn't have had control in that moment. You would have surrendered to the moment and allowed it to be what it's going to be, right?
Mhm.
Or you're going to fight for that hour and a half and eventually get the nap in. And the whole time, like, you're fighting because it's a form of control, that fight. And it doesn't matter how that control takes place. It doesn't matter whether the control is, I need you to take the nap for me, or I just know you need the nap because I know you and I know you're tired. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. You're trying to control a situation. See, so control is sneaky. We don't look at it in terms of, I'm having a control moment. It's whatever is happening in this moment. It's like when you're trying to get your kids out the door and you need them out the door because we got to be somewhere in 5 minutes. And you're either going to fight with them for that 5 minutes, trying to control the situation, making hurt feelings and getting everybody stressed out and then not having a good start to your day. Or you're going to surrender that control. But you don't look at it as, I need control in this moment. You're just like, kids, I need you out the door. We got places to be. That's where your brain's at. Your brain doesn't think, oh, this is a moment. This is a control moment. I need to have this. We're going to go and control the situation. All right, get your shoes on. Get this done. Boom, boom, boom. You're just like, hey, we got things. You are concentrated on the things and using the things you got to do to justify the control you are now exerting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, levels of grace, giving yourself grace, holding yourself holding yourself accountable is a form of love, if you will. Not holding yourself accountable is taking advantage of the grace you've given yourself. And then so here's a better way to say it. Taking advantage of the grace that you give yourself leads to actions like procrastination. So if you're not holding yourself accountable...
What did you just do?
What do you mean? So if you're not holding yourself accountable and you give yourself grace, then if you're giving yourself grace and not holding yourself accountable to the things you know you need to get done in order to have forward progression, if you're not giving yourself forward progression, then you start taking advantage. Then you have procrastination. And then you have not just procrastination, but avoidance. You may have irritation. You may have resentment towards the thing.
You have to hold yourself accountable.
In order for grace to work, because you can't just have grace.
Otherwise it turns into the whole procrastination thing.
So then procrastination is a form of taking advantage of grace. Avoidance is a form of taking advantage of grace because you're not holding yourself accountable, which means you've taken advantage of the grace you've given yourself, and you're just fucking off time and energy and all these other things when it could go to other things. And it's okay to have those moments.
I don't like what you did there. I don't like what you did there. It makes me uncomfortable and I'm a little irritated.
Why?
Because it makes sense to me now.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You gotta say it in a way where it clicks, and that's just
it's
it.
Like it's tainted grace.
It is. So
like you tainted the grace. I don't like that.
But you've got to.
I don't like to think of it like that.
But you've got to have. I'm sorry, you don't have to. Perspective is everything. You can have your own perspective. In my perspective, recognizing that grace can be tainted, if you will, it can be taken advantage of, and most of the human species does it, needs to be acknowledged.
Oof.
And the only way to acknowledge that is by accountability. So grace.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Grace.
So grace without accountability can lead to toxic
masculinity,
habits.
toxic femininity,
Yes.
toxic grace.
Toxic. Yeah. But see, it's sneaky. You don't recognize these things
You don't in the moment.
Well, and think about it.
Which is why when you recognize it,
you break it down.
You choose to afterwards.
Yes.
So if you can recognize it, then you can
learn to understand it. Here's the thing, is once you recognize it, that's when you start asking yourself the whys of what you recognize, because that gives you deeper understanding of the topic you're struggling with. And that'll give you your solutions to be able to move forward. And they're never going to be anything you like. And they're always going to be something that you tell yourself you already do. But if you ask yourself for specific examples of the times that you say you already do it, you're going to find that there are a lot less than what your mind just threw at you when you heard the word that you don't really want to deal with, but you think you do it enough anyway to recognize it for what it is. And that's one of our coping mechanisms that a lot of people aren't aware of. We throw a lot of our own self-information into our brain to justify the person that we are in this moment. And that's okay when we're holding ourselves accountable and moving forward. But if we take those moments of justification and there's nothing to back it, no action to back it, and you have no proof of the action to back it from past actions, then it's a lie that you fed yourself in order to avoid the topic that will help you have growth. So and that's what it means to get comfortable with your uncomfortabilities. That's what it means to get comfortable with your weaknesses. That's what it means to acknowledge and accept them. To be like, oh, I don't do that. I need to. Oh, I don't do it as often as I should. But now that I understand it in this way, I have a better way to go about it. So you don't got to guilt trip yourself. You don't gotta be an asshole to
That's where the
yourself.
grace comes in.
That's where the grace
It's
comes in.
okay.
And then that grace
You
got to be
didn't know
followed
what
up
you
with
didn't know, but
accountability.
now you do.
Yep. So then you follow it up with accountability. So grace accompanied by accountability equals positive growth. Wow, that's so simple. I've been talking about this for years on end, and now it's just there, boom, in a simple sentence. Grace plus accountability, forward momentum. Wow. But your brain is a very sneaky thing. It plays a lot of tricks on you. Think about it. Every time you make a new realization or understanding about self, you have unlocked a roadblock. You've gotten rid of it. You've gotten rid of the hurdle. You are getting closer to tapping in to not just your true potential physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You can start handling more things. You can start diving into things that other people say don't exist, aren't real, but you found a tangible way to connect your
Use what
fantasy with
you
your reality.
learn. Use what you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best
Mm-hmm. Forget the rest.
to walk how you preach.
And preach how you walk.
And preach how you walk. Live by your own words. Holy cow, man. Like, I think that was my biggest frustration in all the self-help and healing crap that I learned, is I felt so frustrated because I had all this knowledge and I wasn't doing anything
Don't
with
know
it.
how to implement.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, and then I get frustrated because I keep running into situations and I can feel the same feelings coming up, but I know how to deal with them better, and I'm just frustrated that I have to deal with it.
But it's
Like,
but
you're
it's
supposed to learn this so that life gets easier. You know how to navigate it,
You
and
don't-
it's not.
not only that, but like look at it. Like, man, it's like a video game. When you have these points come up again, you're at a respawn point. You've got all of your potions, you got max health, you need to go to round 2.
You've got all these points that you get it put on your skill tree, and you
Yeah.
got all this stuff, and
So
you
you
just
gotta
need to.
bulk up and then
put
go back
them
at
in
it
and-
again. It's like when you come across the boss you can't beat, you gotta go back and go farm.
Did you use your skill points?
Did you use your skill points?
No, I was just holding on to them.
I
Like,
used,
oh.
you know, that's like my favorite strategy in the game then, like, not to derail, but go for as long as I can until I get the absolute dog shit kicked out of me and it's frustrating me, and then I do skill points, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my
you
gosh,
did
there's
that
so much I can do.
intentionally. But if you didn't know you were gaining all these skill points and that they
Yeah.
needed to be applied to the tree, like, why isn't this working? We have all this stuff you could use, why don't you just use it?
Yeah. Or, I would get all my skills built up and I'd never use them because I couldn't remember the combos. And then I would finally get to a point in the game
That's
where
a
they force you
different-
to remember the combos to do the things.
That's a weird
I don't know, there's
thought.
there's some bosses that are like that though. Like, you're totally
Yeah,
prepared,
but like, how does that relate to life?
What do you mean, how's that relate to life? Like my business, like doing the Fabled Oddities, I really wanted that to take off. But
So what did you forget?
I didn't have enough of the skill sets. In
No,
order.
but you said you forgot the combos.
I did forget them. Well, yeah, because I don't have. Okay, I have all the skill sets, but I didn't have a way to bridge the skill set. I know how to
okay.
manage a business. I know how to build inventory. I know how to keep stock. I don't know how to manage money. I don't know how to manage my inventory to keep up with demand. I don't know how to market the way I would like to. I don't know how to bring all of that into cohesion. But these last few jobs that I've been in have given me a lot of insight to connect those bridges, connect those gaps. So maybe I might be more ready this time to try again with my rock wrapping business and see what comes of it. But with no intention of trying to like blow it up, make it big, and make it something. I just want to watch it grow, just like a kid, right? You've given life to it, now let it grow. Help it where you can, and just watch what it becomes. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yep. But you guys, we are coming up on the end of the time that we have
Rented
allotted
this room.
ourselves. Yep. It's a great discussion though. There's a lot of good feed.
That was a good
points.
working out Wednesday.
Mhm.
Got pretty loud there.
We all did.
Ugh.
But I hope this video ended up working out great. It's not all choppy, and if anything at all, I hope the audio was fine.
The audio's got to be better because it was a quiet room.
Yeah.
But to all you people that have prayer chains and circles, would you keep my family in your thoughts, please? the rest of the family doesn't know all the information, so I can't share it, but I will later.
As it becomes appropriate.
Yes. So just keep my family in your thoughts. Send positive energy, healing energy.
Do your thing.
And come see me at Sacred Grounds Coffee Studio Sunday the 22nd at noon. We'll be doing the Broomcraft.
All right, guys. You have a great night.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Until next week.